For those that don't know me, my name's Richard Lee. I've been a professional footballer for 15 years now, but alongside football I've always had a keen interest in business. In fact, I'm probably better known for an appearance on Dragon's Den than I am for my goalkeeping. But on the back of that I've had several businesses and thankfully I've done well. It's only recently that I've then looked for another project, and Organo Gold was the one that I chose, and obviously I had several options open, and ordinarily I've always started a business on my own and set it up from scratch. It's certainly the first time I've properly gone down the route of setting up a network marketing business in a serious way, and it's still reasonably early days, but it's been incredible. I've never had a business that's taken off quite in the way that this has, and it's certainly a very exciting time. For me, choosing Organo Gold, in the end was an easy choice. There were certain boxes that need to be ticked. Firstly, the product. I'm a coffee addict again, you know, and I love the product. So that was a no-brainer. That's the simple part. Then it had to be the compensation plan, and it had to be all the marketing collateral and everything that comes with it. The website, is easy to use? All these different things I looked into, and for me this ticked them all. One of my goalkeeper coaches introduced me to it, which was I'm very thankful for now. And yeah, before I knew it, I was having it every day. Felt very good for having it, and started to learn a little bit more about it. First and foremost, the product is very, very good. The idea behind it, I think, is excellent. You know, I was always very much of the idea that coffee was good for you in certain respects, but I never really fully appreciated why I would have the high and then the low. I just thought that was the way that it was, and obviously since having OG, I'm very aware that it doesn't need to be like that. You don't need to have the jitters and everything else that you get, and you can feel very good for it. The network marketing model is one that, I'll be honest, a few years ago I was slightly sceptical. You know, you hear of network marketing and there's certain connotations that come with that, and I wasn't sure for a while as to whether it was for me. For all the businesses I've set up, you set them up, you have to then concentrate on building a brand, building a product that people would then recognise. You have to get the marketing collateral, you have to get a website, you have to get a team involved. All these things, it costs so much money to get it going. All of a sudden, you do it with a network marketing business, you've got that there, it's ready. You've got everything you could have in terms of marketing collateral, you've got everything you need, and it's effectively a no-risk business. Some of my closest friends who have made a fortune from network marketing, it certainly made me realise that actually not only can you attach yourself to a fantastic brand, you can make some serious money alongside it. I'm looking for a specific type of person, if I'm honest. Like, you hear the stories of people that go out there, the kind of scattergun approach, and they'll just sign up anyone and everyone, and it's a bit of a numbers game. And if you're selling good product yourself and the people below you are selling product, then of course you can make some money, but to be honest, you can end up doing a lot of work for people that won't necessarily really appreciate it. You know, ultimately you want to get guys below you have a similar drive, and guys that are working with you that have a similar drive and want to succeed and love the brand as much as you do. Providing you find that, then it's actually quite an easy process, because you know you've got guys that are as committed as you that will help build this business, and you don't need to spend countless hours on the phone teaching people that aren't ever going to use that information. So for me, who am I looking for? I'm looking for people like me that want to make a success of themselves, want to build something either alongside what they're doing or potentially as a full-time job. And if they want to do that, there's an opportunity here to do that. I'd love to have a conversation with them and explain how I think they can get to where I want to get to myself. Personally, from what I've seen so far, I think that this is just the beginning in the UK. I've always, and this isn't just with Organo Gold, this is with a lot of businesses, I'll always take what they've done in America and look at that and see how they've succeeded, and then gauge as to what they'll do in the UK. And this company's exploded in America. To be $1 billion business within 4 years is a joke. So it's exploded over there. It will happen here. This is still very much the beginning in the UK. There are 50 millionaires that have been created by this in the States already within 4 years. People are realising they need either a second job or something on the side. And again, I go back to what I said previously. For me, this is a no-risk business, you know, a very low-risk business, certainly. You know, even if you're only selling a few boxes of coffee a month, you're going to make a little bit of extra income. Or if you take it to the bigger level and start to build your own team and sell a lot of product, then there's some serious money to be made. It's a very, very clever business to be involved in, a very, very clever compensation plan, and there are some massive rewards out there. It It really interests me when I hear of some of the names that are already involved in the business. Obviously Manny Pacquiao, Greg Norman and some of the other guys, and I'm aware that none of these guys are getting paid. It's not like, you know, you see other brands out there that will pay for a figurehead to be their, you know, to be their main guy and to build off that. I get the impression that Organo Gold don't necessarily need to do that, and the advertising is starting to happen in bits, but it doesn't necessarily need to be pushed. It's something that is growing very nicely organically, which is testament to the business. It intrigues me that there are some really good people involved in this, and the feeling I get, and maybe I'm just fortunate in terms of the guys that I'm involved with, and certainly I know I'll be the same, but there's such passion for it. You know, it seems like the people above me, I'm in a group chat with a lot of other distributors, and there's such a drive to get this out there. You know, the need for healthy coffee, for just being healthy in general. You know, the world we live in now, there's so much emphasis on health. This is just another thing you can change. It might only be 1% of your diet, you know, but you know, if you change that, that might just make a little difference. There's a really good feeling about it. It's something that's quite exciting to be involved in. First and foremost, it's the pH of the coffee. It's not acidic. It's, as far as I'm aware, the only coffee that isn't acidic, which for those that know much about blood types, to have an acidic blood type is certainly not a good thing. Most processed foods will be acidic, and for the body to break down an acidic food type is very, very difficult. And stuff like vegetables, fruit, most fruits will be alkaline based, same as this coffee. I never really realised how acidic coffee was until recently, when I had a bit of an episode where I actually hadn't had coffee I'd had a couple of coffees in the morning, hadn't had one for a few hours, and because the coffee I was having wasn't particularly good quality and certainly was very, very acidic, I came down really, really ill, to the point where I had to stop the car, have a sleep, had to go and get a coffee in order to feel okay again. Suddenly, on the back of that, I'm introduced to a coffee that is alkaline based, and I certainly haven't had any feeling like that before since then. And also I'm a lot more level now, which naturally you will be. It's a neutral coffee. So on the back of that, I feel a lot better for it, which, you know, obviously plays its part for me. First and foremost, it tastes great, but also the fact that I feel good for it, yeah, it can only be a good thing. Organo Gold is known for having Ganoderma in it. Now, I didn't know what a Ganoderma was at all, to be honest, until I learned more about it from Organo Gold. And from what I understand, it's a Chinese mushroom thousands of years ago that was very sought after back then. If you were to take on its own, it tastes foul. It tastes really, really bad. But infused with coffee in the way that they've done it, it tastes good, and it's very, very good for you. I now find that I'm certainly not having to take the other anti-inflams. You know, just having this coffee seems to be doing the job. Naturally, everyday life, to have food that contains anti-inflammatory properties in it is a big thing. So again, just for me, it was another tick. Certainly another positive thing about Organo Gold. First and foremost, we've got the Organo Gold espresso machine, which comes with the pods, the espresso pods, which actually fits in any machine such as this, which is, I can certainly see, these are quite new to the UK, so I can certainly see these flying off the shelves. Black coffee, this is by far my favourite. It always would be. It's something that, as I say, as a coffee addict and someone who fancies themselves a little bit of a connoisseur, I love that coffee. I'm also a big fan of the mocha, personally, and the green tea. You've got red tea as well, you've got hot chocolate, you've got cafe latte, black ice, and these are the pods that I mentioned before. So you've got a nice selection of all the major coffee types. So there is something for everyone, even guys that don't like coffee. As I say, I've got some really positive feedback on the hot chocolate, and the latte seems to be a bit of a favourite as well. So yeah, it's some fantastic product. Something I find very interesting about these products in particular is in regards to caffeine. Now, caffeine in football is something that until recently there was only a certain amount you were allowed, and it was then banned after that. Footballers will try to get themselves up to a certain level of caffeine before a game, whether that be with one of the energy drinks you have or different ways, and then get themselves up to a certain level to then try and almost maximise their advantage so that they can feel as good as they can possibly feel going out onto the football field. The issue with a lot of the caffeine drinks, they were always very high in sugar, so as much as they'd feel great initially, come half time they'd have a bit of a dip, second half they might struggle, and by the end of the game they'd be beat. What I've found, and what certainly a few of the lads, I've had quite a few of the lads trying this now, is that you get to that level and you can maintain it for so much longer. Obviously with black coffee there is no sugar for a start. It is much more neutral. The pH of it obviously being 7, it being slightly alkaline, it means that you can get up there, you're not going to have the dip, and you do maintain it. So there are several lads that I know already that are taking this pre-game, having a coffee in the change room pre-game, and then maintaining that throughout. I've got a couple of other friends as well that are doing it pre-workout. Same reason, they can hit the gym hard, get good results by simply having a coffee and not putting loads of rubbish in their body and sugary energy drinks.